there are just so many options available for homeschooling, which is absolutely wonderful, but it's also absolutely horrible in trying to figure out what in the world would be the best fit for our family. Hi friend, welcome to Born for Homeschool. I'm Rachel Bourne. This video is part of a mini-series where we're discussing all of the big homeschool questions. In this video, we're going to discuss what is the best homeschool curriculum. Our first video, we talked about how do I get started homeschooling. And I'll leave a link in the description box below if you'd like to check out that video. We talked about the steps to take in order to begin homeschooling. So now that you know your local homeschool laws and you have your mission and goals written out, the next step is to choose your curriculum. So the big question is, what is the best curriculum out there? But I challenge you to rephrase that. And instead of asking what is the best curriculum out there, asking what is the best curriculum for me, or in this case, for you. So in order to determine the best homeschool curriculum for you, the first thing to know is, what is your homeschool philosophy? And when I first started homeschooling, I had no idea what a homeschooling philosophy was, I'll be honest. I had no idea that there were many philosophies for homeschooling. Choosing your curriculum was completely overwhelming and very difficult and stressful. If you have ever looked at all of the curriculum options available for homeschooling, I'm sure you have been completely overwhelmed, as I have been. So I'm going to walk through the first things that we have to learn about curriculum and then what we actually need to do. So the first thing to know is that deciding on your philosophy of homeschool will make this process much simpler for you. It will help you streamline the process of choosing curriculum, and you might even find it fun to look for curriculum once you know your homeschool philosophy. So today I'm going to share a little bit about homeschooling philosophies, a little snippet of what each of them are, and then as you research and discover what your homeschooling philosophy is, it's going to tremendously help you in choosing the best curriculum for your family. So let's talk about the homeschooling philosophies. There are many homeschooling philosophies, but there are 7 main or popular ones right now. These philosophies are classical, Charlotte Mason, Montessori, unschooling, school at home, unit studies, and eclectic. There are many resources you can find to determine which philosophy makes the most sense for you and your family, but I'm going to just give you a quick summary of what each of these are. So a classical education is usually a very systematic and language focused. There are 3 stages for this curriculum. There's a grammar stage, a logic stage, and a rhetoric stage. Usually in the grammar stage, you're taking facts and images and learning them. In the logic stage, you're equipping your student with logic tools for organizing the information and images. And in the rhetoric stage, you're equipping your student to express conclusions from the things that they've learned. So the classical education is a time-tested and rigorous yet flexible education for your child. The Charlotte Mason philosophy is built on the premise of educating the whole child and not just the mind. There's usually 3 different parts to a Charlotte Mason philosophy. There is atmosphere, discipline, and life. And atmosphere is reading living books and time outdoors and spreading a feast of ideas. And discipline is creating good habits, teaching good habits and good character. Life is living thoughts and ideas, not just facts. And really teaching observation. So Charlotte Mason is really an education interacting with living thoughts and ideas and not just facts. The Montessori philosophy is based on self-directed activity, hands-on learning, and collaborative play. The teacher is usually just the guide for this type of learning, based on the premise that all children want to learn and we're built to learn. And so just helping guide them to be the best version of themselves that they can be. It's based on the inner growth of an individual. So the child doing a lot of self-directed learning. The philosophy of unschooling, it emphasizes a child's interests rather than an academic curriculum. So it's really an interest-led learning. It's a conscious choice to step away from systems and methods and to develop independent ideas out of actual experiences where the child is in pursuit of knowledge. And it's not the teacher trying to give knowledge to the child, but it's the child pursuing this knowledge and the teacher facilitating that pursuit. The school at home philosophy is also what I would consider the traditional homeschool. Typically, it is a complete homeschool package. So it's conventional, easy to use. It usually follows a lot of standards. So it's systematically working through a curricula that is usually certified by experts in education. So the unit studies philosophy is also called thematic units or integrated studies. And it's where you study an event or an object through the perspective of all of the different subjects. So you would take whales and you would study history through whales and geography through whales and art through whales and music with whales, and science would all revolve around the study of whales, or whatever the object is or the event that you're studying. All of the subjects would revolve around the study of that particular thing, and that would be a unit study. And the final philosophy is eclectic, and that is where you choose different things from different parts of other philosophies to make them work and fit with your value system or with your beliefs for homeschooling. So I found a great article on the major philosophies of homeschool curriculum, and I'm going to leave a link in the description box below for you to check it out. And it is a great article. It gives way more background and information than I just tried to do in the last few minutes. It also gives the pros and cons of each philosophy. So definitely check out the article for more information on the philosophies of homeschool curriculum. So now that you have your mission and goals all written out and you have your philosophy thought through on how you want to educate your child, next it's time to think about the circumstances of your life before determining which curriculum might fit best. What are your specific circumstances for your family? How many children do you have, and what ages and levels are they at for learning? Do you work full time? Are you expecting a new child, or are you about to do some major home renovations? And another thing to take into consideration would be your budget. What does your budget look like for your homeschool this year? Even if you're not purchasing a curriculum for homeschool, if you are doing unschooling, there may be certain things that will cost money that you would like to participate in. So be sure to have an idea of what your budget will be for this coming year. So next, it's time to do a little bit of research. And the goal is to find a curriculum that fits your circumstances and your philosophy of education, and that complies with the laws of your state, that will help you to fulfill your mission and accomplish your goals for this homeschooling year. And you can do this online. You can Google and YouTube different curriculum. You can ask friends. You can go to homeschool conventions. There are lots and lots of ways to get your hands on some curriculum that you can look through online. There's lots of times that you can pull up a sample of the books before you purchase them. If you need some more ideas on how to find a curriculum within a budget, I did a video on homeschooling on a budget, and I'll put a link in the description box below for you to check out that video. So once you find the curriculum that you'd like to try, the final step is to commit. Go for it. Get that curriculum and use it. And I want you to be aware of one thing. This is all a process of trial and error, okay? It may take many different times to find a curriculum that works for you and that works for your children and that works with your circumstances of life. I used to say I've made mistakes about a curriculum in the past, but instead I think sometimes it's just discovery. I've just learned more about myself, and I've learned about my children, and I've learned things that work, and I've learned things that definitely did not work for us. So some may call that a mistake, but I had to go through that process of trying that in order to see that it didn't work well for us. Make sure that you're not too hard on yourself. If you choose a curriculum, you're really excited about it, and you get started, and all of a sudden you're realizing it's not quite working out how you thought it would. And that's okay. It's good to learn about ourselves and our children, and if something isn't working for us, then it's okay. There are other resources out there that we can use. So thanks so much for watching today. I hope you found this video to be helpful. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to Born for Homeschool as we wrap up our mini-series of the big homeschool questions here in our next video. So thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.